advances to the Final Four.
Shout out Chillinois Basketball Podcast.
Shout out to Chillinois Podcast.
Shout out Chillinois Podcast.
Shout out Chillinois Basketball, man.
Welcome back to the Chillinois Basketball Podcast. Unfortunately, the final podcast we will make for the 2025-2026 season, at least in regards to previewing games, because the Illini lost their final game of the season in the national semifinal to UConn by final score. I had it up just a second ago. Let me make sure I get the score right. 62-71, the Illini fall to UConn. They just can't seem to get over that Dan Hurley hump. I would argue the Illini had a pretty good game plan, at least defensively, in that national semifinal, Final Four matchup. But the shots weren't falling. And when you shoot 6 for 26, I'm sorry, what was this final? I think it was 6 for 26. It was 23%. When you shoot 23% from three, and a lot of your offense is based on making those shots, it's going to be pretty tough to beat teams regardless of how well you're playing on defense. Ultimately, hell of a season for the Illini. Couldn't be prouder of a lot of these guys. To a lot of people who didn't get to experience that 05 run because they were not born yet or they were too young to remember it. This was Illinois. This was their first Illinois Final Four experience, so I think that's really important. I think this bodes really well for the future of the Illini basketball program. But before we dive into the game itself, I do want to say we were setting up to record this podcast, and Noah wanted me to talk about this because it is kind of funny. But as I got home from dinner, I get a call from a star. Gosh, these are terrifying. I get a call from a *67 number, like an unknown number, and I was like, I'm not picking this shit up. Well, at first I answered it, assuming it might have been like a telemarketer. And sometimes if you answer the phone and you don't say anything, they don't start their phone call until you say something. So I was like, let's try that. Then I heard laughing in the background, so I know I'm getting prank called. Anyways, I just declined the call. They call me again, decline it. About 2 minutes later, I get this meme sent to my phone. I don't even know if this is a meme. This is terrifying to even look at. That was sent to my phone. And then it said under it, Chase.soon, period. Oh, like how I don't even know who this is. Who's my how do they know my name? Anyways, next one they sent me, even more terrifying. I'm gonna have nightmares about this tonight. So if you're a child and you don't want to have nightmares, maybe close your eyes before I turn my phone around. But this was the next one that was sent to me.
And we had the idea to send them the link to the Zoom, and now that I see those images, I think you should send the link right now because,
dude, I don't want to demon on the podcast. We might be messing with Satan here.
I have my Bible right next to me. I will straight up exercise that demon.
Yeah, I'm sitting here on this podcast spooked. So if you see me looking over my shoulder a bit, you know why I'm looking.
Let us know in the comments if we want us to have that guy on the podcast. We'll send him the link for the next episode.
Maybe it's like Kalachi is for closers. Original bug. They got my number somehow. Anyways, back to Illinois basketball. First things first, like I said before, disappointing to end the season on a loss, but if you're not the team that wins the national championship or the NIT tournament or the college basketball crown tournament, you are going to end your season on a loss. So disappointing that happened, but after 3 or 4 days of having thought about it and being upset about it, I've really taken a turn for thinking this is a very positive thing for the Illini program. So those are my overarching thoughts about this season as a whole. But more game specifically, I don't know. It was a tough game to watch because it just felt like the breaks weren't going the Illini's way. It just wasn't their night. I don't think they were outmatched by any means. I know everybody's like, oh, now Dan Hurley has Illinois' number. They've beaten them 3 times in a row. And believe it or not, we will face UConn in Chicago within our first 10 games of the season next season. So it's going to be at the United Center. I would like to get tickets for that game. Maybe we'll do some on the scenes Chillinois podcast stuff. At that point, maybe we'll get media credentials or something. But I mean, we're going to see UConn again. Dan Hurley's not going away. So it's not like you could just blame Dan Hurley for everything. But I think we've come to the consensus that he may or may not be a devil worshiper at this point, right, Noah? You wanted to talk about the sage, right?
I wanted to talk about the sage. He's not a devil worshiper. He's a Christian, which I respect, but he was burning the sage. And when Kylan does it, it doesn't seem to work. But when Dan Hurley does it, it seems to get them to the damn national championship. So he made his wife leave the game to get his holy beads. I don't know if he's Catholic. I think he's Christian. I mean, he sprayed holy water on the nets. He had a little spray bottle of holy water and he sprayed it on the nets. So I mean, we have Ben Hummerkaus, and I thought Ben Hummerkaus was pretty Christian, but clearly Dan Hurley's on another level. So Ben, I mean, he's parting ways now. He's, going off and doing other things other than basketball. Unless Ben maybe he's going to go to Europe and play or something like that. But we're going to need somebody else to come and replace him to give us
Well,
the good luck. And I don't know if anyone on the team currently, I mean, I could see, some of the European guys being hardcore Christians, bringing the sage and the holy water.
I would argue that the team should extend Ben Humrickhouse, like they should build a new role for him as a managerial position and have him just be the team chaplain. Um,
Team pastor.
yeah, he seems like a Champagne, like it seems like a type of guy, he seems like the type of guy that would stick around Champagne after college, small town growing up, maybe raises a few farm animals with his wife, but I could see Ben being the team chaplain. And I just want to say I was going to do a rant on all the seniors because I think they were important to this team. But my spiel on Ben Humrickhouse would just be like, what a guy to have on your team from a dude who went to NAIA to Division two to then end up playing on a Division I team. And he got a lot of um, hype going into the last season, as we all know. I think it was what was it, John Fanta that called him, or was it Jeff Goodman? They called him the next Dalton Connect. Obviously, that didn't really pan out, but he was so maligned last year after a season when everybody thought he should have less of a role than he did. And then for him to come back, exercise his fifth year option to play another year of college basketball for a fan base that really didn't get behind him last year, to come back and accept the role he did this year, just hats off to the guy. You need guys like that in your program. So starting my rants about the three seniors, just Ben Humrickhouse, like thank you for being an Illini. I think that's what he did was really what it was all about. And I know Brad talks about Pizza Hut parking lot guys a lot. I don't see Ben being a Pizza Hut parking lot guy in the sense that like the only thing I see him doing in a Pizza Hut parking lot is probably like preaching the gospel. But Ben is certainly an everyday guy. That is for sure. That is 100% certain. So I'd like to see Ben continue being an everyday guy and have him be the team chaplain or something, the team pastor. But regardless of what's in the future for him, just shout out to Ben Humrickhouse. Hats off to him. Just an amazing story of a career. And then for a guy who battled with so much adversity, um, impressive to see him finish the way he did and go out with his head held high. Now back to the game specifically again, before I get into the other seniors. I do just want to talk about like I said before, the game just didn't seem like it was ever going to go Illinois' way. There's a lot of talk about the rims in this game. I think I sent you that minute and a half video of Illinois having shots that went in and out basically. And the point in the game, which I really was like, this is not going to go our way, was that Andrei Stojakovic like lay-in that in any other world, any other gym, I think that just goes through the rim and 2 points easily. But it seemed to sit on the rim for almost a whole minute, and then it finally didn't go in. UConn gets the rebound. I just looked at the guy next to me at Brickhouse, shook my head, and was like, "This isn't our game, unfortunately." Um, but in terms,
Magnets,
I
magnets.
mean, we can get into that conspiracy if you want. But I was about to ask, just in terms of game plan. Like I said, I don't think the Illini were outclassed, but what would you look for in improvement? Obviously, they're not going to they're not playing another NCAA tournament game, so it's not like we can go to the locker room and watch tape and figure it out for next week. But what would you say was their Achilles heel in this one? Because they out-rebounded UConn. They did a lot of things really well that they normally do really well. Obviously, the shooting wasn't great, but I'd say their defense was pretty strong, especially for a team that UConn, for the way UConn plays, I think the Illini forced UConn to take some shots they don't normally take. There was a lot of talk about how UConn had like 18 assists to Illinois zero, but I think that's just differing offensive game plan style. So I don't think it'll like Illinois' game plan does not allow itself to have a lot of assists because it's a lot of pick and rolls instead of like cutting screens. But thoughts on the game? Where do you think the Illini went wrong? If you were Brad in his next Final Four performance, what would you fix for the next time around, or for when they play UConn in Chicago in November of this year?
So the Achilles heel for Illinois in this game was you. You went to the same location that they lost to UConn in the Elite Eight, and you stood in the same spot.
No, we stood on the other side this time, but I thought I could change some things around. I had a lot of superstitious stuff going on that day. Same outfit I had wore the entire
And
tournament,
you got a haircut.
same contacts I had been wearing the entire tournament, which my eye doctor would tell me is pitiful, but
And the same Zin all tournament too.
yeah. I gotta admit, I was just in the same zen. It was bringing us luck, and then not that night. But okay, I'm the Achilles heel. Is that all you got? Just don't watch Illinois basketball next season, Chase, or you're gonna screw us over.
No, their Achilles heel was their weakness. They were soft. They were letting UConn bully them. They were getting out physical. I mean, Terrence Reed was getting whatever he wanted, quite frankly. And I mean, Merck didn't really do much at all. I don't know. His stat line wasn't great. I mean, Keaton, there was that play where Keaton basically gets assaulted and they don't call it. They call it a steal. I mean, it was a physical game, but you got to step up to the plate, and Illinois didn't step up to the plate. And for some reason, they just kept missing shots. And they've been missing shots basically since Big Ten play started. It just seems like they haven't been able to put one game together. Or, okay, one game here and there, yes, but a string of like 4 to 5 games where they're just shooting like good, not even great, just good. I mean, especially like just the last month has just been terrible. They can't get a single game where they're making them at a high clip unless they're playing, VCU or whoever the hell, Penn. It's like when they play the high level competition, I don't know if it's mental or what it is. If Brad doesn't work on shooting drills, I don't know. But they got to get it figured out because that's been the plague all season. All season, that's been their problem. The Michigan State game, the Wisconsin game, every game. It's because they can't make a shot. And that was their problem in the UConn game. They would have lost and they should have lost the Houston game. But Houston just had even worse performance offensively. So I don't know. I mean, you can't really be mad. Illinois made a Final Four. A month ago, we were going to think that Illinois wouldn't even make it out of the first weekend. So you can't be mad. You do wish it would have ended a little bit better for the seniors. Although speaking of the seniors, another bad performance, Colin Boswell. He wasn't doing too much. He didn't do too much of anything all tournament. But either way, this UConn team, I'm mad that we have to play them every season. Like, what the hell? Brad's like, oh, let's play the team that beats our ass every single time we play them. Well, yeah, let's do that. Like, how about not? How about we find somebody else that's a little bit easier to play? Like a Mark Pope Kentucky team. Just as big of a name, bigger name, way bigger name. And we'd actually be able to beat them. When we played Arkansas on Thanksgiving, I thought it was a perfect matchup, similar skill level. UConn's out of our league, in my opinion. We're like tier 1B, they're tier 1A. And quite frankly, I'm getting sick of seeing Dan Hurley and hearing him say, "Oh, I got a lot of respect for this team." I'm sure you do because you beat our ass. I'm sure you love playing us. He's like, "Oh, I love playing Illinois." Yeah, because you beat us every time. So I'm a little bit sour, and I'm gonna be honest. I've been a Michigan hater all season, but I was rooting for Michigan in that championship game because, quite frankly, especially that video comes out with the UConn fans, chanting, doing the chants as the Illinois fans are leaving, and they're doing a little, you know, sorry, we're not homophobic here. That's Michigan that's homophobic. They're doing their little chants like, "Oh, UConn, UConn, Huskies, Huskies." I'm like, "Oh, give me a break." And quite frankly, Dusty May belted them. Should have been even a larger win, but I think they went a little bit easy on them. That left a sour taste in my mouth. So I'm not the biggest fan of UConn. I have never really been the biggest fan of UConn. I don't want to root for a team that wins back-to-back championships because I want other teams to win championships. I want my team to win a championship. So I'm mad that we lost, but at the same time, I'm happy that we made it to a Final Four. But when it comes to this game specifically, I was disappointed. I mean, you get to that stage, you get to that point, Andre, oh, we're not done yet. We're two more. And then the whole team just shits the bed and it's like, oh, give me a break, man. The biggest stage, it's like at least, get a technical. I mean, didn't they get it was, I thought I saw somebody get a tech. Oh, maybe that was the Michigan game. They call it a silly hook and hold. They're
Yeah.
calling way too many hook and holds nowadays. It just blows my mind. But yeah, wasn't happy with that game at all, quite frankly. So we should go back and do it again. As Jake Davis would say, 7 out of 10 times we beat that team, but that was not one
Well,
of those times.
it's interesting, and I just made sure of this stat while you were talking there. Not very often would the Illini out rebound a team, have less personal fouls than a team. Um, Let me see here. They had 44 rebounds to Connecticut's 37. They had 17 personal fouls to UConn's 21. They shot more free throws. I mean, the numbers in terms of shooting are pretty much even. Illinois shot 34% from the field. UConn shot 35% from the field. If you told me those stats, I'd be like, this game was either a 2-point game and somebody won on a buzzer beater, or Illinois won that game. But just the number with UConn, it seems to be Illinois scored 65 points or less in only 2 games since last season. UConn in November and UConn in the Final Four. Um, I mean, it's just kind of crazy, and I don't think UConn's defense is doing anything particularly well. I really would chalk it down to probably Dan Hurley hitting the rims with the holy water because Illinois just can't seem to shoot when they play UConn. Um, but yeah, the other turning point I think in the game, which was just a theme all year, and Brad Underwood talked about it after many of their losses, the damn offensive rebound that they gave up. And I'm sure, I don't know, I watched a lot of post-game press conferences. I think Brad was too busy worrying about like what this means for the program, talking about the seniors, talking about how he felt, blah blah blah. All good positive things. I was very pleased with what Brad had to say after the game. But I don't think he made this point. But if it was a regular season game, I'm very sure he would have made this point because the Illini went down four, and then they were had a defensive possession with about a minute and 10 seconds left. They get a stop. I think it was Damari or Ball that got the offensive rebound. Braylon Mullins hits a three, sends the game to 7. And then there was about 45 seconds left when Keaton Wagler hit the three on the other end to send it back to 4. But 1 point with 45 seconds left is a hell of a lot different of a ball game than 4 points or 7 points with 45 seconds left. So unfortunately, it was the same thing that plagued the Illinois defense against Wisconsin when they lost. It was the same thing that plagued Illinois when they lost to Michigan State in the Breslin Center. Same thing that plagued Illinois when they lost to UCLA in Pauley Pavilion. They couldn't get the offensive or the defensive rebound, rather. They gave up an offensive rebound and then let up a three. We saw it 4 or 5 times this season, and every single time it resulted in a loss. And in this game, it resulted in a loss ultimately, too. I don't know for sure if the Illini would have won that game had they got that rebound, but they would have been down only 4 points with a chance to send it to a single possession game with 45 seconds left. And I think that makes it a very different ball game. The Illini were on a 7-0 run at that point, too. So I'm seeing you bring up Bobasic. Are we smashing him? What are we doing? Giving him to Tomislav?
I don't know. I've debated smashing him, but
Put it in Tomislav's NIL contract that we'll give him Bobasic to smash if he comes back. We don't have any money for him, but we have a smashable item.
we will pay you in one garden gnome,
Yeah.
one very, very rare, valuable artifact. I
Yeah.
think he would definitely want to smash it, that's for sure.
Well, he wanted to smash the South Regional Final trophy.
Yeah.
I think he's just a guy that wants to break everything in his path. Besides Terrace Reed, unfortunately. But with that being said, I do want to I know I already talked about Ben Humrickhouse, but I want to give AJ Red and Kylan Boswell at least their roses while we have a moment because AJ Red, first of all, what a career for that guy. Started off as a student manager, then became a walk-on player. I think he won 2 Big Ten championships, tournament championships, and 1 Big Ten regular season title in his time, and then also got to the Final Four. I mean, you could talk about a guy who, oh, he didn't play very much. He didn't have a lot of minutes. He didn't have score a lot of points. But first of all, fan favorite. Every time he got in the game, you heard AJ Red being chanted throughout the stadium, even before he got in the game, usually. And second of all, that dude's going to have the craziest stories to tell anybody for the rest of his life. He played with Terrence Shannon Jr., he played with Coleman Hawkins, he played with Matthew Meyer, he played with um, the Balkan Block. He played with everybody and your grandmother too. So AJ Red, hats off to you, man. You also made that incredible three after Mihailo Petrovic bounced it between his legs. That was awesome as well. So I'm gonna remember him for a while as one of my favorite walk-on players to ever play for the Illini. And then also Kylan Boswell. Just seeing that video of him talk about what it did to him, what it like it took a tax on him mentally when he left Arizona and people got on Twitter and talked about how he was a drunk, how he was an alcoholic, and that really took a toll on him. And then he came to Illinois to fix his life up, be closer to home, become that hometown kid that he wanted to be growing up playing for the Illini. And that video I saw, first of all, made me realize that I am not above calling athletes out on social media, and I think after seeing that, I will certainly think twice about doing so, at least in a demeaning manner, especially when I'm angry, especially when I'm upset. Now, when it comes to Jeremy Fears, I'm still gonna, if you're gonna trip a player, I'm still gonna be mad at you for tripping a player. You brought that on yourself, but never again will I.
Are you DMing these guys after games like you suck?
No, 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 no. But I've put out tweets before when I was younger, like, God, that player is like so like that player is shit. Like, and that does something to them. I can only imagine if people were tweeting about me all the time, like, oh, all this guy does is make podcasts and serve pizza at Pequod. So like,
People do talk shit about us on Reddit, dude. Have you
true.
seen the
Well,
comments?
that's Reddit. Anyways, I mean that's Reddit. I take what Reddit people say with a grain of salt. Um, but just to Kylan Boswell, I know he's not watching. I just want him to remember that like there's also people that are so behind him and so supportive of him, and he needs to keep those people in his corner. And I would say to him, like I got to experience the '05 Final Four run. So to me, it was like growing up, I wanted to be D Brown. I wanted to be Luther Head. I wanted to be Darren Williams. When I shot basketballs in my front like driveway, I was pulling up from three pretending I was D Brown. Kylan Boswell is going to have young kids playing basketball in their driveway who are Illini fans, pulling up for three, shouting Kylan Boswell because they got to watch him play in a Final Four. So I just hope he remembers that. I hope he realizes that because he's got a lifetime of now kids, people who are younger than him that he's inspired, that he gave fans, a lot of younger Illinois fans, their first Final Four in their memories. And I don't think that can be taken away from him, and it shouldn't be taken away from him. And he should be remembered as a guy. I think his jersey should go up in the rafters, quite honestly. But he should be remembered as a guy who really gave his all for this team and just he was an inspiration for a lot of people, I think. So shout out to AJ Red and shout out to Kylan Boswell as well.
You think AJ Red's jersey should get hung in the
No,
rafters?
Kylan Boswell's.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I mean, I love Kylan too, but I don't think he was that good. I mean, you could argue that he was even better at Arizona. I mean, how many points did he average at Arizona versus Illinois?
I don't think his point totals went up or down very much. I just think his impact on and off the court too, being the Champagne kid, being the
Oh, I
the
loved Kylan. I mean, he was one of my all-time favorite Illini. I mean,
yeah. And I just think it meant a lot to the city of Champaign that he was from there as well and came back. So
he should get another year of eligibility just because he's only 20 years old. I mean,
I
he's so
agree with
young.
that. He's the same age as Braden Burries, and Braden Burries is a freshman. So
Yeah.
I don't know how Kylan Boswell, who did all the right things and was injured a few times in his career, but never enough to medically redshirt. But I don't understand how he only gets 4 years versus like Chad Baker Mazzara, who gets 9 years of college basketball,
Well,
but, or Sky
if
Clark.
Sky Clark's getting a waiver, then maybe Kylan can get a waiver.
Yeah, I mean, Sky Clark quit the basketball team and he's going to get a waiver for that. So it blows my mind. I agree with you. I think he should be able to play a little bit more if he wants to, but nonetheless, just an incredible career from him. Just an incredible to watch his growth as a person as well. So I wanted to highlight him there. And if he ever does see this, just know, Kylan, we're rooting for you. We're behind you 100%. He's also we got a shout out from him on our podcast. He's in our intro of our videos, so we gotta love him for that, no matter what. Now we saw Sleepers do this on their podcast or their live person podcast during the Big Ten tournament when they were in Chicago at Bub City. I thought it was a great idea to add to an end of the season video, and we will have a preview for next season, like a way too early top 25 review, a way too early next season preview. We just think we can make an entire video about that, so we don't need to get in too much about it right now. Plus, at least in the next 3 days, I promise you there's going to be some transfer news for us to cover. So just be on the lookout for that. But before we do any of that and shut this year's 2025, 2026 season down, we watched Sleepers do this, and I just thought it was a great idea. They went through winners and losers. They each picked three. They started with their winners first. So, Noah, I would say we'll start with the losers in the video on a high note. So if you have your first loser of the Chillinois podcast 2025, 2026 season, or if you want to just make it Illinois basketball specific too, that's fine.
A loser in general? I mean, I already know who I'm gonna say for my first winner. I'd say, gosh, maybe Kalachi, maybe Original Bug. I mean, I have so many people on my shit list. Maybe Merez. I mean, he literally won a championship with a team that just paid for every single player. First team in NCAA history to win with all five starters as transfers. But I can't. Uh, You know what? I'm gonna go with screw it. Jelly Roll. He didn't do shit for us.
He
I've
didn't
been
come on
hyping
the
it up all
podcast.
damn season, and he hasn't done a damn thing. He didn't help us win a championship. He didn't even come to a single game besides the Tennessee game, and he rooted against us. So officially, Jelly Roll, you're on my shit list.
Jelly Roll has been put in the loser column, all right? I'm gonna go with Noah and I's bracket challenge bracket because we finished in 19th place out of 26 people in our own bracket challenge. I've had jokes all week being sent to me over text that people should probably start a podcast instead of us because they clearly know ball better. Um, I can't even disagree with that at this point.
Bro, who said that? People are
I
hating?
mean, Tanner said that. We've got Alex
Oh
Rodriguez
my
who said that.
gosh.
Just to name a couple, but just friends of ours, guys being guys. But yeah,
That's
certainly not good looks from us on our
it's
bracket.
not as easy as it looks, guys. Okay, we gotta, it's late right now. It's like 11 o'clock at night right now. We're
I was
putting
getting
in the
DM
man hours.
creepy pastas, so I had to make sure my life was okay before I started this podcast. But yeah, that's my first loser is us two. Let's just
Actually,
go with
no,
two losers though.
loser is the guy who sent you the creepy pastas.
I think it was some girls messing with me because when I answered the phone call, it sounded like girls laughing.
Bro, send the Zoom link right now. What are you
No,
talking about? It's
I'm
chicks?
based on their voice, but I'm like, who could that be? I don't know. I don't have enemies,
Bro,
so
maybe there's some chicks that watch the podcast.
I don't think that's what it was. But second
If
loser
you're
for
if
me.
you're a chick and you watch the podcast, let us know.
There's some girls that watch the podcast. Shout out to my
Bet,
mom. Shout out to my mom.
bet, bet.
Um, second loser for you. Let's just do two losers because I don't want to be too negative. Plus,
Second
I don't think
loser.
I can come up with three bad things. So
No, I can't either. Man, this season. That's the thing is like now that I think about it, this season's been really good. Like we can't complain too much. Yeah, we lost some games. It wasn't the best record wise. I don't think we had as good of a record as the IO season when we were the one seed. But nonetheless, I mean, Final Four run, that's pretty good. Now, when it comes to the podcast, we've had some beefs. Trying to think of our biggest hater from the comment section, potentially Reddit, potentially YouTube. We don't get too many hate comments on YouTube. For the most part, our YouTube community is very friendly, very positive, and
I would say that the biggest hate comment we get on YouTube is when we like misinform, like when we like say a date wrong, or like last episode I said that the Fab Five was the team that beat us in
well,
'89.
that's not even hate. That's just us being stupid.
I know, but there's the one guy who keeps correcting us. But I actually appreciate it because I would prefer to know when I was wrong and be told about it so I can correct it for the next time.
Yeah, no, I agree. I would say maybe Dorothy Izzo.
You never got crossed up by her, did you? So
No, I haven't had the opportunity yet. I don't think I would. I think I'd be able to handle her.
you think you would or wouldn't?
I think I would.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say she's like 98 years old. I would hope so. So Dorothy Izzo is your second loser. Um,
No, I take that back. I like Dorothy Izzo. I don't have Greg Gard. I just don't really personally like him that much.
I mean, he's losing his whole damn team too. So
Yeah.
it was almost a slap in the face that John Blackwell said, "I want it." Like, because Wisconsin is a pretty historically good basketball program with the Bo Ryan days, but for him to say, "I want to go somewhere where I can like win a national championship," and that's what we're striving
Well,
for him to
they
say
won a,
that and basically admit, like, "Yeah, Wisconsin is not that." Sorry, and I
they
get it.
won some big games this year though. I mean, Michigan, Illinois. I mean, they did win some big games.
They did, and that's why it's so almost hysterical for John Blackwell to have worded that the way he did. And I hope John Blackwell comes to Illinois. So, John, if you're listening to this podcast, we'll talk about that.
Whose position would he take? Kylan's
Yeah, he could be a lead guard, or he would
or like
probably
Keaton?
play. Yeah, he'd probably play more of a Keaton like secondary role. as our
Because I
shoe.
think Andre's probably going to take Kylan's role if Andre comes back. Because Andre ain't going to come off the bench again. That'd be terrible. Like Brad wouldn't do that.
We're
So,
we're getting ahead of ourselves here though.
but I'm
Um,
just just trying to think of the possibilities. So many
there's a lot of
potential.
possibilities. I'm
It's
excited.
yeah,
I don't want to steal a whole 45 minutes worth of a podcast episode when we can do a whole nother one for it. But so your second loser is Greg Gard.
yeah.
All right, my second loser is going to be the damn ropes that keep coming on Illinois and the Noah's Illa fucking Noi hats that he keeps cutting off. Which I like the ropes. As you can tell, let me go grab my rope hats over here. I have a collection.
So,
I've got a
guys,
small.
these hats we sell these hats. They come with a rope. I
The
cut it
rope is
off.
cool. It looks like this.
Yes. I just don't get why every hat they make nowadays has to have a rope on it. It's like
Well,
that's all of a sudden what they do. It's the new trend.
we can order them without a rope. There's a style that has it. I just haven't
Well,
put
the
it on.
thing is, I've cut the ropes off before and it looks fine, but for what I mean, because this one's blue, so it kind of stands out. Kind of looks like a fashion statement, like little white dots. I don't think anyone's, gonna notice it. It's a good
I don't
hat
mind
though.
it. But if you're a rope and you're on Noah's hat, you're certainly not surviving. So the ropes on Noah's hats are going to be my second loser
You
for
know
the
what's
year.
funny though is that when I cut the rope off, it literally looked like a piece of the net from a basketball court.
You should have kept it. You should have kept it hanging there
I thought about it too.
and been like, "This is from the Final Four. This is from the South Regional Final nets that we cut
I
down."
was at the game.
Brad gave
Andre
me this
Andre gave me his piece.
as a member, as a positive member and influencer of the team. We got part of that net. All right, I'll start. I'll let you start it off with winners, and I think we should do three of these at least because I could think of a lot of winners.
Yeah, I mean, instead of naming all the people from the Chillinois community, one by one, I'm gonna say collectively the Chillinois community. I will name drop. We got Rossi Mac, we got Carl.
Don't forget about Carl. Yeah,
We
Patio D.
haven't seen Carl in a while.
Patio
We
D.
Pat O.D. Who else?
Who's the guy that always corrects me? Let me look that up real quick.
That guy, that's your op though.
Nah, he's cool. I like him. He just corrects me all the time, but I don't mind it. I don't mind being corrected. You're not gonna
Yeah,
be right all the time.
yeah, I would just say the Chillinois community, man, you guys have really been positive and really enjoying the episodes, even though, we're not the most in-depth when it comes to analysis. We don't got any breaking news necessarily. We may be late to a lot of stuff, actually. By the time we post a video, everybody's already talked about it. But either way, our YouTube community's been great. So nothing but respect for them. Just so I mean, 100, only like 100 subscribers, but we get like all these comments and all these likes and all these people on Instagram following us and DMing us, and it's just super dope. We appreciate it. So that'd probably be my first winner. I'd just say collectively, the entire Chillinois community as a whole.
I don't want to not name the guy who corrects me all the time, Bootzilla 74. He has
Oh yeah,
a
that does.
comment, but I
That,
appreciate his corrections because
yeah,
otherwise I would have gone on believing that in '89 the Illini lost to the Fab Five, which was not correct. There's also B-Ball 2923 who commented great storytelling, which I was like, I didn't know I was a good storyteller, but thank you. Um, oh, and then we gotta give a shout out to our guy, James C9423, because he dubbed you the Chill Master, so we can never let that down.
yes. Shout out
So
to that guy as
the
well.
community, I agree, was really cool.
And well, I'll save this one for the next one.
I was gonna when you mentioned community, I agree with you because when we started this, first of all, I thought, well, I'll make this my first winner. The community as well, but other Illinois content creators that we've talked to, that we've gotten to meet this year. Sahil, our guy, Jeff Moore, who's a Tennessee insider.
I
Shout out
was
to
gonna
Jeff
say
Moore.
Jeff Moore.
Okay, wait, you can have that as your second winner, but I just mean like the Illinois community in terms of content creation. We got our picture with Jeremy Werner. You've been in touch with Sonny.
We got the pictures with Sleepers Media too to
Yeah,
the
I mean the
event.
Sleepers Media guys we got to meet. Dion was awesome.
We got to get
Sonny
Dion on the
is
show.
Sonny's going to be somebody we're going to talk to in the future. So I just want to shout all those guys out because having started this podcast, I initially thought not like business competition, but I was like, these are the guys we're gonna have to steal viewers from. Like, if we want our podcast to be big, people already watch Illinois podcast stuff, Illinois basketball podcasts, whatever's out there, they consume it. What I didn't realize is people would be so friendly and supportive, and like they would support our videos and we would support their videos as well. We do this for fun, but I think people understand that, and other people who do content creation like this also do it for fun, and it's a passion of theirs, Illinois basketball. So I think we've kind of all related on that, and we all support each other. It's our first year, so I would assume it's going to expand into next season and be even bigger next year. But the people we've met through this podcast, whether it be Sahil, Greg, Carter, Dion, their producer, their editor, Sonny, who you've been in touch with, just anybody who's helped us out along the way has been really good and given us really good insights, and we hope we can use those in the future. So first winner, shout out Illinois podcast creators, content creators. If you're a fan of Illinois basketball, shout out to you.
Yes, I agree. The second winner, like we said, Jeff Moore. He was on our Tennessee preview video, right? It was the preview
Mhm.
when we had played them earlier in the season in Illinois, was victorious in that matchup. Very professional. What place did he end up in for the bracket? He didn't win, but he for a while he had a pretty good bracket, I remember. It looked
He
like
was
we
like
might have
fifth
it
place.
be,
I think he was fifth or fourth place.
yeah, pretty solid performance in the bracket. Shout out to everybody who did the bracket challenge, by the way. That turned out to be a great success. Not for our bracket, but my personal bracket did okay, I think. I didn't really check it honestly. Once Florida got eliminated, my final four got screwed and I kind of
Are
gave
you
up.
Noah? Were you Noah 216?
No, it was Noah
Oh,
15, I think.
that's my coworker Noah. You got we collectively got 19th. You got
That's
14th,
terrible.
and Jeff ended up in 12th because he picked Arizona. But
Not bad. I mean, these things you can't tell. You know, you can never tell with these bracket challenges. What you think one team's gonna get in it, then the next team gets in it. You never know. But shout out to Jeff Moore. He's great. We need to get him back on the show because I think we play Tennessee again, right? I mean, don't we have a home and away with them every year now?
I think it might be concluded because we played them in Champaign 2 years ago.
Oh, I don't know how it works. I
I
thought
would
it was
like to play
every.
them again. I would hope we play them again.
I mean, we might, or we might play Louisville. Louisville would be a great team for Illinois to play because they're not that good, but they're a really big name and they're good enough, and they have a lot of fans too. So that'd be a really great matchup.
I would agree. That would be cool because Jeff is more passionate about Louisville too, so he'll talk our ears off about the Cardinals if we let him. My second winner, speaking of the bracket challenge, um, I'm just gonna go. Well, her bracket name was Camelworks. Was in the 99th percentile of all brackets. I looked at her bracket, got the entire, what was it? The entire She got an entire region correct, like 100% correct, which just was blew my mind. To even do that is like insane. The East bracket, she picked every game right in the first round, second round, Sweet 16, Final Four, and she even had UConn coming out of there. So that was incredible to see. And then 99.4th percentile, 1,400 points, beat the next closest person by 160 points. So shout out Camelworks. I got in touch with her over Instagram. Her name's Lydia D. So shout out to Lydia.
Don't drop the whole name, bro.
Lydia D. I think that's, yeah, I didn't
Her
drop it.
address is 243.
No, no, I'm not sending her address, but
She's,
she did
dude,
send me
she,
her contact info to get her the Illinois crew neck. She wants one in orange. So
dude,
I'm glad we had
she's,
a taker on the I'm glad somebody we don't know won it, so we have more people walking around with it.
she's sending you the creepy pastas.
I don't think so.
Lydia.
She seemed like a nice person actually.
Shout out Lydia for real.
She was very glad to receive our gift, and then I told her that the profits are also going to Coaches versus Cancer. She
Babasich
was
says
glad to hear
thank
that.
you to Lydia. Thank you, Lydia.
Third and final winner, or if you want to have more, that's fine. But
Yeah, let's do 12 each, I think would
oh
be a good
gosh,
number to see. Third and final winner. I'm gonna go with Brad Underwood because Brad Underwood, I think he got over the hump, although I think he got over the hump with the Elite Eight, but I think this really got him over the hump. And just the emotions, the passion. I mean, I think the in-game adjustment got better. Cameron Crocker edition. I mean, he really made every play along the way that he could have possibly made. And, he didn't win a championship, but Final Four, that's about as good as you could ask for besides a championship. So it's got to go to Brad. I mean, recruiting masterclass. Everybody doubted him in the offseason. Jeff Goodman said, "Oh, you got to end the European experiment. Oh, this and that, this and that." But he proved that it still works, and I think it only is going to get better from here when it comes to the Balkan or just you know, non-American players. But yeah, I mean, Brad, hell of a job. I think everybody likes him now. A year, 2 years ago, there was a big crowd of people that are like, I don't know about Brad. We got to get rid of Brad. But I think at this point, 99.9% of the Illinois fan base loves Brad and would literally, lose it if he went anywhere else, which I don't think he would. I mean, he just seems so passionate about Illinois and he's talked about it countless times and you can see the emotion in these videos. They just dropped a video on social media of the locker room after the UConn loss, and just you can tell he really cares about the school and the program and all the players. And he says they always recruit, based on these personality tests, and you can tell. I mean, he's probably had one too many guys where it's like, they come on campus and they just kill the whole vibe, like a well, I always forget that kid's name because he never played a damn minute in basketball. But the kid who ended up transferring, he was the Notre Dame kid. You get a kid like that, and
oh, Jalen Coleman lands,
no, 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 Jalen Coleman lands. Come on,
Harry
he's like
Booth.
Kerry Booth. Oh yeah, Jalen Coleman. You never talk down on Jalen Coleman lands. I mean, you got to be kidding me.
He did
Kerry
go to
Booth.
Illinois.
Carrie Booth, exactly. Like you get somebody like that and they just kind of kill the vibe and like people don't even want to be around them type shit. So I think the fact that, he does these personality tests and gets guys that mesh and all like each other and want to hang out. Like the players talked about it. They all loved each other. They played video games and would do this and that. And so I mean, Brad figured it out. He's, at the peak of his career right now, and he's, 60 something years old, and couldn't be prouder of him, couldn't be happier for him. And, I think all the Big Ten coaches were probably very happy to see him make a Final Four, even though he didn't make a championship, still, I think everybody from the Big Ten was happy to see Illinois make that game. Even, opposing fan bases were really happy for us. So it was a great, great season for him and one that, pretty much solidified his future at Illinois. I don't see any chance that we get rid of Brad because quite frankly, I don't see any chance that he performs badly. He just is such a good coach and he's at least like, I think the conspiracy year last year, that's going to be like the worst we'll get for the next 5, 6, 7 years. I think, it's only going to be up from there. And quite frankly, that was a perfectly fine season, in most programs. So he's reaching a level that we'd hoped he would reach, and I think it's finally starting his luck starting to turn. He's starting to get these good draws in the tournament. He's plagued for so many years with the bad draws, and it's all starting to come together for Brad, and couldn't be happier.
Yeah, I appreciated that he let his emotions go a little bit after the game too. Not very often you see a coach cry. I mean, he just said straight up, he just was so appreciative of the players for the joy they gave him. Um, and I think that'll bode well for recruiting. When you talk about a guy who you want your kid to go play for, I mean, to see a guy care that much, it's like, wow. And the thing about it is he doesn't just talk about like, yeah, I got this guy to the NBA, we're developing all these players. He talks about it from like a lifelong standpoint. He talks about it like a family. He told all the players they can call him whenever they need him. At a drop of a pin, he'll answer the phone for them, regardless if they're playing right now, have played in the past, transferred out in the past. So I think that's important to keep in mind too, that this is just bigger than basketball for this program as well. And that's a really wholesome thing to see. It makes me proud to be an Illinois fan because I feel like I'm part of it too. So Shout out to Brad Underwood. He's definitely a winner. I'm gonna get selfish with my last winner here. I'm gonna say I'm a winner, but for a reason differently than you might think. I think I'm a winner because I'm so thankful for being able to start this podcast. This started as like a way for me to um, get my emotions out about Illinois basketball because, like I said, I have so many friends that went to Illinois, just not a ton of them really care about Illinois basketball the way I do. So to have you come in and allow me to speak and be the host, kind of, and get my emotions out about these games. Say to people all the time, it's kind of like therapy for me because this is something I'm so passionate about. I'm thankful for the people we've met along the way, even though this is just year one and we're only expanding from here. I feel like I'm a winner because I'm thankful for just the success Illinois basketball has had this season. I got to experience that. Um, Without a doubt, this has been the most fun season of Illinois basketball I've gotten to watch because of the people I've connected with this season. I didn't realize there were so many other people out there in the world that care so passionately about Illinois basketball like I do. I kind of thought I was crazy for a while because a lot of my friends who went to Illinois made me feel that way for being like, why do you care about watching Illinois versus Long Island University? Like, why does that matter to you? It's really important for me to watch all 40 minutes of that game. I can't tell you why. That's just how I was raised. So I feel like a winner because I'm so thankful for all of that. And it's been, like I said, my favorite year to watch college basketball, watch Illinois basketball. Thank you for being a part of it, Noah. And thank you to anybody else who's been a guest, commented, ordered our merchandise, interacted with us on the internet. I mean, I still have DMs that I've not responded to since the game on Saturday that I need to respond to, just talking about the game in general, because there's that many people that like this team like I do. And that's been inspiring. That's been cool to realize. It makes me want to push this thing even further. So selfishly, I feel like I'm a winner, but that's because of all of you guys that watch this and make this possible. So thank you to everybody that does that. Any final thoughts on your winners, Noah?
Yeah, I'm gonna go one last winner. Taking back what I said, I'm going Jelly Roll. I'm back on the Jelly Roll train. You thought I was off. It was April Fool's. I love Jelly Roll till I die. No, but final thoughts for real. This was a great season. It's going to be a continuation because we're going to keep doing it. We're going to aim for like 1 week or one episode per week in the summer. And then if there's some breaking news or something, maybe we'll come on and do a little bit of a shorter episode. But just to keep the people informed, just to talk about, potential players, matchups when the schedule gets released, when the NBA draft happens, we'll be able to cover that and talk about some stuff. So, Keaton Wagler, is he going to go in top five, top 10? Who knows? Who are the Bulls going to get? The Bulls fired their whole front office, so they're cleaning house right now. I was kind of hoping that Billy Donovan would go to North Carolina, but they just hired that Malone guy. So it doesn't look like he's leaving Chicago, unfortunately. But either way, we're going to have great content all summer. Make sure you stay tuned for that. And next season, we'll try to get out some games. Hopefully, Illinois has another banger of a non-conference, and there can be some big names. I'm sure there will be. I mean, we already know a few of them that are going to happen. So I'm just looking forward to this season. I saw a poll come out. I can't remember who put it out, but it was their way too early top 25, and they had Illinois at one. So that's really, really, the concerning kind of because every time we were preseason one, or preseason top 10, it seems that we kind of let the nerves get to us. But it's going to be an interesting team if we can get everybody back, plus these couple of freshmen coming in, and plus maybe one more, like a Blackwell or something. I mean, if you're talking about a number one team in the country, especially with the way Merck's going to be playing, I mean, whew, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see. But yeah, this was an incredible season, and it's going to be one for the history books. And I don't want to take all the credit for the success of the Illini this season, but we did start this at the UConn game, and pretty much from there, everything was uphill. I mean, that was like a bad performance, but I wonder what our win-loss record is. I guess was that UConn game our first loss? I don't think maybe it was.
Yeah, it was.
Or was the Alabama game before that? No, because I think we did an episode for the Alabama game.
No,
So
Alabama was before it, and then the UConn game.
not a bad track record, ladies and gentlemen. Ever since we started, up and up, and ever since I mean, remember, don't forget Babasic. I created him, and we had went for like 2 months in a row. We didn't lose a game, so there was a lot of voodoo going on this season, and it was great overall. So 10 out of 10, can't complain at all.
Yeah, absolutely. Do not think this is the end of the Chillinois basketball podcast just because the season is over. This is the end of the Chillinois basketball podcast covering the 2025-2026 men's basketball season. But like Noah said, we're going to have at least an episode a week between transfer portal news. I'd argue the off seasons, besides the fact that you don't get to watch college basketball, the off season is almost just as hectic as the regular season because it's transfer portal craziness. Uh, I mean, I think Petrovic was added to the team in like June last year, so we're gonna have stuff to cover in June. There's gonna be guys getting injured in practice. Knock on wood. I hope it doesn't happen to any Illinois players, but that happens every season to somebody. It's gonna be nonstop. We're gonna have guests that we're talking to. We still need to get a two-on-two game versus Greg and Carter somehow. Um, my favorite idea for the off season, I think, is a vlog where we go try different Balkan foods in Chicago. So you'll have to come to Chicago sometime, but we'll go get some different Balkan foods and let you know how they are on camera. We'll do like a vlog slash mukbang. So that'll be interesting. I'm just excited to see what we can do with the content when there's not like recaps and previews to be doing weekly. Before we put an end on this one, I do want to just share with you guys some of the goals I've come up with for the Chillinois basketball podcast for next season and even the off season this year. I'm just kind of putting these out in the air because I want to hold us accountable. I firmly believe that if you start recording yourself doing something and then putting it out online for people to see, there's a lot of accountability that comes with that because you can't just give it up and say, I mean, people are going to hold you accountable. Like what happened to those goals you said about or talked about. So I'm going to read some of those off here. Now, keep in mind for next season, we will be expanding our coverage to DePaul University basketball as well. Noah, if DePaul makes the NCAA tournament or goes even further, I think there's absolutely some magic in this podcast because then it's 2 for 2 where we've gotten a team. Illinois, we expected to go pretty far from the beginning of the season, but Final Four, I don't think we were expecting that far. Now, DePaul to even make the tournament, that would be just absurd. So I do want to let you guys know if you're a fan of DePaul or if you're a fan of DePaul currently, or you're not an Illinois fan and have somehow come across our podcast, we will be covering DePaul next year. We are adding another friend of ours. His name's Jonathan Monroe. Does he live in Jersey or New York? I think New York or Jersey. And he goes to New York for work.
I think he lives in Jersey. He's
He's
from
an
New
East
Jersey.
He's
He's
an East Coast guy.
Italian.
He's an East Coast guy. He's a really cool guy. Big personality, knows basketball, East Coast basketball, and Big Ten, or excuse me, Big East basketball like the back of his hand. So he went to DePaul as well and has been watching this team uh, pretty closely for the last couple of seasons. So I'm really excited to add him to the podcast and have him help us cover DePaul recaps, previews. So you guys will get to meet him. That's going to be exciting, and I think you guys will love him. So that was my first goal for next season: incorporate DePaul as a secondary team, grow the talent group on the podcast. I also suggested to Noah adding an editor and a Twitter manager. We're still in talks about that. If you are listening to this podcast and you have editing skills and you would like to just have some experience to put on your resume and you want to be part of this, let us know. We'll take a look at your skills. And if you're a good editor, I can't say we're going to pay you because we're not monetized right now. But if you just want experience or to be part of this, like it is fun to do. So
I'll give
reach
you
out to us.
one piece of merch.
Yeah,
We'll
I'll
be
buy you a
there.
piece of merch for free. Buy you for free. That doesn't make any sense. But anyways, that's goal number one. Incorporate DePaul as a second team, grow the talent group on the podcast, add some additional positions. Next goal, I'd really like to get some media credentials for at least one game next season, whether it be DePaul or Illinois. I think we should strive for both, but at least one media credential.
I mean, we could get on the damn bench at a DePaul game. I mean, it
Yeah,
ain't that
that's
hard.
true. I just meant like post game in the press conference. I want to hear us say Chillinois basketball podcast. This is Noah Morgano. What are your thoughts on this game? Like I've seen people do that before. It'd be really cool to have our
I
name.
think I think Sahil can get us in.
No, we could just apply on our own.
Listen, we got an inside source, that's all
I
I'm
mean, we could
saying.
ask Sahil, I'm sure, but I'm just saying it's they put these on public, like you can apply publicly for media credentials. So I've done it before in the past when I was in high school radio. I have high hopes that we'll be able to do it for next season. We just have to push ourselves a little bit. This is a lofty goal, but I said get at least one Illinois and DePaul player interview. Very certain we can get a DePaul interview. Illinois in season might be a little bit tougher, but in the off season, I think there might be an opportunity to try and get a former player, a recently graduated player just to talk about their experience. So at least one player from either team as an interview would be cool. I said have a player or coach. Oh, I mean, this is a double goal. I wrote these down when 9:34 in the evening, so I was not thinking with my head on completely straight. But I said have a coach as a guest on the podcast, whether it be an assistant or a head coach. I think that would be pretty cool. You're laughing like these are crazy goals, but
I mean, like who? Like I guess we could try to get Brad on the podcast,
well,
but I don't think he's
I didn't
gonna
necessarily
come.
mean Brad. I just meant there's a lot of assistant coaches that you could reach out to. Hell, I mean, I didn't know Zach Hammer went to Northbrook Junior High School. That was like right around the corner from where I grew up. So.
Tyler might come on.
If Tyler doesn't go to another school this year and become a head coach, sure. Um, now these are
Oh,
just some like numerical goals. I said grow to 500 subscribers. That's on us to continue the content creation and continue putting out good creation, but also I'm asking our fans right now if you guys have other Illinois fans in your life that you'd like to share this podcast with and let them know to be a subscriber. That would be cool as well. It helps us a lot. I'm also thinking about doing some more giveaways, maybe like once a month, just sending, like spinning a wheel and sending one of our fans merch so we keep you guys entertained, keep you guys in the loop, and keep you guys on the lookout for new videos too. I'd like to grow the Instagram to 750 followers. For whatever reason, the last week we've had like 40 random people follow us, like not random, but like mutual followers that we already follow. Um, so it's already growing pretty exponentially at this point, but I want to grow it even larger. I'd like to get one local Chicago or Illinois sponsor. I think that would be really cool. Not necessarily a sponsorship, but like a partnership where you use the discount code.
sponsor would be dope.
Look, I just want to shout out a business, and if our fans want to get 10% off takeout orders from whatever place that may be, we'll happily at the beginning of every video shout out your restaurant, shout out your business. Just give our fans 10% off when they order using promo code CHILL.
We couldn't even get Chase's boss to let us do it for a free pizza.
Well, I'm telling you, the pizza place I work at is historic enough where they're not in the business of giving out free shit to anybody. We had what was his name? We had Patrick Williams come in from the Bulls.
Oh God, no, that's
He
not a
sucks. We should be
flex,
charging
dude.
Patrick Will. We should be charging Patrick Williams because he's charged the Bulls so much money with his crap contract and underperformance. But I'm just saying we don't even give a free pizza away to a Bulls player. So
Okay, I don't want to brag, but we're a little bit more important than Patrick Williams. Okay, I'm gonna be
okay.
honest.
If you want to go as far as to say that, sure. Last goal for next season, I'd like to get at least $500 in profit from the merch to donate to Coaches vs. Cancer. I didn't realize until I had the opportunity to log into our Printful. We've had some orders to different people in Illinois and Tennessee, not just Jeff Moore and Hannah Moore, not just Noah and I. So if you're ordering the
I
merch and
was
you'd
gonna
like,
say, I think that's just Jeff.
no, it's not. It was a different guy. It was Franklin, Tennessee, which is not where Jeff lives.
What's
Jeff
the
lives.
address? Let's spill the address.
No, I'm not. And they ordered like $150 worth of stuff too. I think that with all like the shipping and handling taking it out, I think that's like $110 worth of money to go to Coaches vs. Cancer. So, if you ordered merch already and you're happy enough to wear it and sport it proudly for us,
Send
it's like
send us
walking ad.
pictures and we'll post it on our story. How about that?
Yeah, share a picture of yourself in Chillinois podcast merchandise, and we will repost it on our story for sure. But yeah, whoever's bought that stuff already, thank you. I'd just like it to continue. I think the more money we can donate to cancer research and um, helping doctors, helping um, researchers find a cure for that disease, that would be the biggest thing we can do outside of Illinois basketball. So uh, that was the last goal. If you guys have any suggestions for us for goals, let us know. I know at one point somebody said I need better recording equipment. If you continue to think that, please let us
Chase is
know.
running on a 1997 Windows computer.
No, I'm
Wait,
not. I'm running on an older MacBook, but if you have any suggestions, guys, for how we could grow this, how we can make this better for you, how we can make this more entertaining for you. Obviously, we do this for fun because we like talking about Illinois basketball, but we want to keep you guys entertained as well while we do it. So always feel free to DM us, put it in the comments, um, call me on an unknown number and send me creepy pasta memes of demons. Don't do that. I'm kidding.
don't do that.
Don't do that. We won't. We'll ignore those. But yeah, if you guys have any suggestions for us, we'd appreciate it. We never take criticism as a bad thing. We only use it constructively, so it helps us a lot too. But those are the goals for next season. If you're not an Illinois fan and you're looking for a new podcast to watch on DePaul basketball, that is coming up soon as well. We're going to be covering the transfer portal for them too. I think Chris Holtman has a lot of
Not
work to
much
do.
news there. It's all the same players coming back. The
I
whole
know,
room's
but
coming back.
I think it's important for him to add a few key pieces if they want to make the tournament next year. I'm just saying, with the pieces coming back, I don't know if that roster.
Mihailo Petrovic.
Ooh, Petro Booming in a DePaul uniform. I would grab that off the NIL store so quickly. A Petrovic DePaul black uniform. Oh my gosh, that would go
And
so hard at
he'd play
Lollapalooza.
40 minutes a game at DePaul.
And that jersey would go so hard at Lollapalooza in 15 years. Are you kidding me? And you bet your ass I'll still be at Lollapalooza in 15 years. So, in a Petrovic DePaul jersey.
Yeah,
Um,
I don't put it past you.
It's something I would definitely be likely to do. Any final thoughts on goals? Any last shout outs to fans before we wrap up this chapter of the Chillinois Basketball Podcast and officially get into the new one?
I don't think so. I think this will easily be our longest episode. Again, I mean, incredible season, both Illinois and Chillinois. And it's interesting too. Everybody thinks it's Chillini, which is also very cool. So if you think we should change our name to Chillini, let us know.
That
Or
doesn't that doesn't really support the rebrand to DePaul as well, though.
yeah, that's true. Or
I like you being the
what
chill master. I think
what
you're
about
on the bottom of the
what about the Chillinois?
the Chillinois podcast.
With a D, the Chillinois.
Like like the coldest to ever do it, Crawford.
The coldest ever do it, Crawford.
I'm pretty sure that was a football player.
Yeah, it is. It's a real
Um,
name, not just a Key and Peele skit.
yeah, so it's the Chillinois podcast.
The coldest podcast to ever do it.
We'll have to think tank a new name. I don't know about an entirely
I
new
think
name,
Chillinois
but
is a good name, honestly. I mean, it's
as
easy
long
to
as you think
understand. I
about
don't
it
get why
as
people always have a problem with it.
I know I like the name too, and I think if you think about it in the essence of Chicago, Illinois, instead of Chill, Illinois, I think it makes a lot of sense for us to cover DePaul as well. But any other suggestions, we'd be happy to hear at least. I think it would be pretty funny to get some name suggestions on what we should call the podcast. That being said, the Illini did lose to UConn, unfortunately, in the national semifinal in their first Final Four game since 2005. They fell by a final score of 71 to 62 to the UConn Huskies, and that concludes their season, a season that was so much fun to watch. I don't think I mentioned Keaton Wagler, but thank you, Keaton Wagler, for the season you had. I don't even think we understood how great of a season you were having until about midway through it, which is why I think it might go. I think it's a little bit under-recognized of a season almost, but he won so many awards, Jerry West Award winner. So thank you, Keaton Wagler. And I don't think you're going to stay in college basketball. I would love for you to stay and play another year at Illinois. But if you decide not to, no hard feelings and absolutely go be great. Um, but that will conclude the 2025-2026 Chillinois basketball podcast season. Obviously, we're going to have a lot of videos for you guys to make in the future, whether it be DePaul or Illinois transfer news. That's going to be blowing up in the next week, I'd imagine. So be on the lookout for new episodes. But Noah will wrap this one up as we always have. ILL.
I and I.